Good morning and welcome back to Gaming with ADHD, and I am 10 minutes late because I have no excuse. Anyways, good morning, everybody. All right, my brain. Hey, Sean. Wow, that just jumped right out at me. I am struggling to focus today, so we will keep that in mind as I try to decide what I'm going to do. I kind of need to paint more Eberron miniatures. I'm good for a couple weeks. I'm good for a couple weeks of the giveaways. But I also kind of want to paint something else. So I have a feeling we're going to... Hey, Christopher. The Hungar. Oh my gosh, I'm being flooded with chats. All right. So, Mage is choosing to start today with violence. I'm procrastinating, so either keep me engaged so I can continue to avoid my chores, or bore me to tears so much that my stuff is exciting by comparison. I leave the choice to you. Well, that's definitely a challenge. So, let's... Alright, I want to paint some Battletech today. So we're going to paint some Battletech. But it is going to require a little bit of research. So I've been needing to paint this for quite a while. So this is the Goliath that I received over a year ago from Steve Cross when I met him in Ireland. He had gotten this as a pre-release, and for some reason he wanted me to have it, and I've not painted it yet. So Kevin wants to pick on me for being slow. Yeah, Kevin, I'm slow. It's how I roll. Actually, 1 second. Anyways, all right, had to grab my paints because they're all back in the case. So, whoa, that is all right. My work area is a mess, folks. Yeah. I need to clean it. Maybe I should do some chores, right, Sean? Yeah, that was all part of the whole trip. We like, the original plan was to do a cruise that was England and Ireland. And then since we were going, it was just like, well, let's just go for an extra week. And so we went to England for a week and had a couple of stops in Ireland. So, but it's always just easier to say I went to England. So that's what we do. All right, so let's show this off so you all know what the crap I'm doing. All right, so as always, we paint our battle mechs based on named pilots. And now that I think about it, do I have him on the list already? Goliath. No, I don't. Okay. So these are the named pilots listed in Sarna for the Goliath. Let's see. I know I had picked someone. Okay, so this guy, 26th Lyran Guards. But this is one of the ones from Legends. So let's see, where is that? Legends 2. And he is the first guy. So let's stop presenting that. The problem, Kevin, with painting named pilots from land and sea is the fact that there's only a couple of land and sea miniatures, and I have one of them, but I don't have the others. So all right, so let's now show this one. All right, so Warren Hestras piloting the Goliath, and so that's what we're going to be working with. Ta-da! At what point do you change the name of the show to Semi-Pro Painting Time? Never, because I will probably always think that my skills are so poor that I don't know why anyone watches me do this. That's the simple answer. Like, seriously, folks, sometimes I wonder why you are even here. I'm grateful. I really am. I do appreciate it. But seriously. Okay, so I need... Alright, so we're going to get some bright neutral gray. I'm going to need that for the white side. And then... it's kind of a powder blue, but... oh my gosh. Okay, this is hilarious. Okay, so I don't know if any of you were here the other day, but I had found out that the Pro Acryl green paint is actually Soylent Green, which is hilarious. But I just noticed that the blue is pants blue. All right, I'm gonna need my silver. I'm gonna need my dark silver. And that should do it. Okay. All right. Holy crap. It is raining like there is no tomorrow. That is amazing. I mean, I get it, but seriously, we do not have a lot of rain. So, but also monsoon season, like, so just random rain out of the middle of nowhere usually goes from like June to August, and we got like none this year. So dry. So to get this rain is actually like amazing. Hey, Flan Man. Yeah, it doesn't rain much, Mage, but it rains enough. 35 subs to 1,500. Awesome. All right. So I wanted to address this. No, it's close enough to a lie, Mage. Like, seriously, it rains that little. Okay. So you're wrong. I need you to clarify this a little bit for me. You say you don't understand this game's lore and you don't like the novels, but you're trying to get into it. Okay, so I'm assuming you're talking about Battletech. Yeah. Kim is going to do Kim things, you know, make noise in the kitchen while I'm streaming. Don't worry about it, folks. Anyways, so if you're talking about, like, okay, ask questions. We got a bunch of people in here that know Battletech, or me who sort of knows Battletech. You know, so we're happy to answer your questions. The novels, you gotta be really selective. Well, I mean, you don't have to. I mean, if you just want to read a good story about big stompy robots, just go for it. Stack pulls are usually solid for his books, and also, at least for the early novels, Stack pull was responsible for the core storyline. So if you want to just read, like, the actual, like, this is the progress of, like, essentially what happened with the clan invasion and the FedCom Civil War, just read the Stack pull novels and you're going to get like 90% of it. Robert Charette is usually pretty good. Obviously I'm gonna, you know, cheer on Blaine Pardoe. He didn't really get novels till later on, though. Read the entire Twilight of the Clan series. I did a video about where to get started with Battletech fiction. And to me, there's 3 spots. The Grey Death trilogy, starting with Decision at Thunder Rift. The Blood of Kerensky trilogy, which I think starts with Lethal Heritage. And the Twilight of the Clans. So there's a lot of, like, if you start with Twilight of the Clans, there's a lot of build-up that you're going to miss out on. But if you want to skip all the build-up and just get right into, like, the end of the war, that's a good place to do it. So, oh, actually, but yeah, you don't have to read all of the Battletech novels. Some are really not great. Some are mediocre at best. Where's my white paint? Bold Titanic white. There we go, because I'm going to need that for a little bit of dry brush. Anyways, oh, and yeah, Kevin asked earlier, yes, I do have the Pro Acryl paint case. And I rather like it. It's really big. It's kind of bulky. So that's a little frustrating. But I can carry a lot of paint, plenty of room for brushes, not really any room for models. But still good. All right, so we're gonna get some gray paint out. Hungar says the only thing you need to know about Battletech is that the Draconis Combine is the only house you need. I mean, that's one way to think about it. I mean, me personally, I'm a FedCom supporter. But I also got into the game. Wait, why did I put white out? Anyhow. But yeah, the biggest thing actually I would say to keep in mind about Battletech novels, so they're fiction related to a tabletop game. Do not expect amazing quality. All right, see you, Christopher. And I'm sorry I haven't sent your model yet. It's going out soon. I just need to get some pictures. Have a great day, bud. But yeah, fiction based off of tabletop game properties is never the best, we'll say. It's not bad, but just don't expect a whole lot. But it is also something that I actually think is kind of unique. Like most games, like they'll have like a little bit of fiction in the books just to give you a little bit of flavor, but beyond that, they usually don't do much. So something like the Battletech novels or the Shadowrun novels, you know, they're actually unique in the industry. You know, for a company to invest, I would say almost as much in the fiction of the universe and like the actual narrative world building is extremely rare. Like other companies have tried it and like maybe they'll get through like a half dozen books. That's about it. So, you know, something like Battletech where, you know, you're looking at, I think, like 80 to 100 just straight up novels. I mean, that's nuts. And regardless of quality, you know, the fact that you got that many novels, that's kind of a big deal. So, So it does now, Hungar. But the interesting thing there is, like, Battletech's got 40 years worth of novels. Warhammer technically only has about 20. Like, they did some, like a few novels in the 90s, never really took off. But then in the early 2000s, they relaunched the novel line, and that's when they went nuts. So, but I mean, but it's hard. I mean, do you take a risk and pay an author who's not necessarily committed to your brand to write a novel, or do you put more money into game development? I mean, it's risky. So, I will agree, the D&D movie from a year or two ago, it wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. My biggest, what I would say, complaint about it would be that it's not really a D&D movie. It's a movie set in the Forgotten Realms, but like, so I'm gonna go back to what I've said multiple times. Dungeon Delver, another YouTube channel, if you want to look at like some old school D&D stuff. He put out just like a Twitter thread about what he thought a D&D movie should be. And I would love to see, his idea turned into a D&D movie. Because basically what it was so it starts out with a movie, or with a guy. He's in the hospital, and he's got terminal cancer, and but he's the dungeon master, and so his friends want to have one last epic campaign with their dungeon master. And so basically they go back and forth between real life and the game, and have the players play the in-game characters. But again, just keep going back and forth that way. And I think that would have been a great Dungeons and Dragons movie, because then it deals with, okay, what is Dungeons and Dragons? Not just, oh, here's a fantasy movie set in our world, as opposed to, hey, here's a movie that quote unquote deals with what Dungeons and Dragons is. So, but other than that, I mean, the D&D movie was a fine movie. Swift Sword Rush says, it's risky, but if done well enough, books will help hook in players who get excited about lore story. There's a non-insignificant number of people who like the stuff. And you are absolutely right. You are absolutely right. But again, what do you prioritize as a company? Do you prioritize putting your funds into more game material, or do you put your funds into an author who may not necessarily share your vision? You know, like everything that I have heard from everybody in the games industry is that unfortunately artists are like the biggest pain to work with. And an author is no less an artist than a painter or a sculptor or anything else. So, you know, most of the game design is done by the people, or like, you know, the people who are making it. They're the game designers. So it is risky, but you know, done well, you're right. It's a net positive, because it also gets people invested in your game world outside of the time that they're playing the game. Because like once you know the rule, like let's take Battletech for example. Once you know the rules, you don't need to sit there and read the rule book. You know. So what are you going to do? You know, if you're not playing the game, there's no reason. There's like, you don't have to pull out the rule book. So, you know, but when you give somebody a lore book, now it's like, hey, I know you're done reading the rules, but why don't you try checking this out? You know, and so you give them something to do once they've finished the rules. And that's the advantage to fiction or lore books or campaign guides or whatever. They've read the rules. Now they have something to stay involved in your game beyond beyond playing the game and beyond reading the rule book. Anyways, oh, and Kevin, yes, you said I should start with a darker blue. I did not. They showed the blue as like really, really light anyways, but also don't forget, I am very reliant on using washes, so it's going to darken this blue quite a bit anyways. But then with this side, which is supposed to be white, I'm doing the gray layer. I'm going to do a white dry brush because I don't want to just do white. But then it's still going to get that wash layer over top of it. And right now I'm just trying to not screw up the blue. Mage's Musing says a D&D TV series could do more justice to what the game represents than a movie, as you'd have more time to flesh it out and follow the adventures during various stages of their careers. Yeah, I mean that's true as well. I mean, a lot of people kind of give the old D&D cartoon grief, but number one, it was the 80s. But number two, I think it actually does a decent job at straddling that. You know, you're showing, essentially you're showing the players as the characters. You know, because it's the real kids that get sucked into the D&D world. But I mean, yeah, I 100% agree, Mage. I watched it not that long ago. I have the DVDs somewhere. But yeah, it is way better than it is given credit for. It is absolutely a product of its time, but it is not a bad product of its time. But yeah, doing something like that with the but doing something like the old D&D cartoon, but for that story that I mentioned, like, think about it. Like even if it's a season, or like say it's just like a limited one season, 13 episodes or something, and you deal with the players in real life, you deal with the characters in game. I think that could be fantastic. I would watch the hell out of that show. I want a D&D movie. Kevin says, I want a D&D movie that when a character dies, the same actor comes back as a different character. That's fair. And Mage, I have not watched the fan finale of the D&D cartoon. I will be honest, I have not even finished the D&D cartoon. So I would actually wasn't. Yeah, right. Yeah, you did say that it was based off the actual script that had been planned for a finale. Maybe one day I will get to it. Yeah, I know, because I've only got like 10,000 projects I've assigned myself. But yeah, no, it's well, I've also got like a really good excuse to watch it coming up soon anyways. Because, you know, gonna be grandpa soon. And I already own He-Man on DVD. And once I find it, I've got Dungeons and Dragons on D&D. I want to get G.I. Joe on DVD. I want to get I don't know. I don't really want to get Transformers. Wasn't really a Transformers kid. I know. I'm gonna get yelled at by somebody. I did see that you posted a new episode. I don't think I'm caught up. I just watch every now and again because I like your presentation. I am bad at following regularly. Sorry. All right, we've got some blue bleeding into this gray, which is frustrating. So I need to let that dry for a minute, actually. All right, so far, I would have to say this is probably the most challenging miniature to paint. At least to paint in this particular scheme. Because the fact that it's got this one side that's sort of white. But there's a lot of... Why is this still wet? Yeah, I haven't really... I haven't played any... I haven't played any games either for quite a while. Like, I played... I played no board games in September at all. I am not playing any role-playing games currently. Yes, I know about Cody's game. Yes, you and I can talk off of stream at some point. No, it's not a problem with Cody. Anyhow. But I mean, I've been doing that Wednesday night stream with Seraphis, which I've really been enjoying doing. Like, I like watching RPG Digest. But being on this side of it, it's a lot more interesting than I thought it would be. Like we were just going over the feats and stuff this week, which oh my gosh, that took us over 2 hours, and we were going like almost constantly. I mean, we'd stop and talk, but oh my gosh, we could not get through the 20 pages of the chapter, and we had to keep, or like we had to stop when we did, just because I had to get to work and feed Kim. So that was nuts. But it's really fun to do. So I'm excited about continuing it. I've got plans for covering Battletech, which I'm really excited about. My friend Chris is going to help me out with that one. I'm going to start covering Warhammer a little bit more. But that's because 2 of my boys are currently working on 40K armies. So I want to start doing a monthly show with the boys. Just talking about the hobby, or because they're brand new. Sort of. So I think it'll be fun to talk about like Ethan's first experience with the novels, or Jaden painting miniatures, or whatever. And mostly I need to spend more time with my boys. Oh yeah, there we go. Just a little white dry brush on this. Oh, this is coming out great. Anyways, so I think it'll be fun to do a regular show with them and just talk about hobby and stuff. So, I mean, I wish we could involve my other son, but he is, how shall we say, not interested. He's not even willing to let his older brother borrow his computer. So that he doesn't have to participate from a phone. Some people's turds. All right. I think I can use this one. My middle child is not interested in joining me and his brothers for any kind of tabletop gaming. So I want to do a stream with my boys once a month, but one of them's going to be left out. And even though it's not my fault, I'm going to feel like I'm excluding him, even though in reality it's more that he doesn't want to participate. But to me, it would be the absolute coolest if all of my boys wanted to join in. But he doesn't like Dad very much. Kevin, I absolutely wish you were right, but you're not. Sorry to be a bit of a turd. Yeah, no, I technically did not offer mostly because I mean, well, so I did and I didn't. Like, you know, like we keep, yeah, we'll try to do like a family game on Sunday when the oldest and the daughter-in-law are over. But he doesn't want to join us. So you know, when talking about doing stuff on YouTube, he wouldn't be interested because it's tabletop games, which he doesn't like because that's Dad's thing and he doesn't like Dad. So I always try to invite, but I don't always invite because sometimes it's just not worth the fight. I become a granddad officially. I mean, technically I am right now, but the baby's still riding shotgun until January. So that's when I get the oh. That's when I get the class upgrade. Yeah, exactly. New year, new title. And at least as of right now, the kid is going to be named Maverick. Which isn't the worst name, but I don't know. Because of Top Gun, Maverick to me is more of a nickname. But I mean, that's what they want to name the baby, so that's not my call. Your great nephew is due this. Holy man. Like, which I realize is like, I mean, it's not the worst name. And let's be honest, there's a lot of crap that people name their kids that sometimes you're just like, really? Sure you want to do that? So while it may not necessarily be preferred, it could absolutely be worse. But my son, like, officially declared that he doesn't want any kind of family names either. He wants the kid to have, like, it doesn't necessarily have to be a unique name. So I was about to call it a unique name, but no, that's the wrong word for it. But he wants it to have its own name, which I can respect. I can understand that. But at least as of now, the kid is going to be named Maverick. And yeah, I totally get that about Top Gun. But it is also not my kid, so I'm going to kind of keep my mouth shut. Like, I was kind of like, okay, the other day. But my son has also kind of taken my approach to the naming of the child. When my kids were on the way, Kim kept trying to get me to just look at lists of names and pick stuff, and I'm like, you are kidding me. I am not interested. And so I'm just like, you know what? Just put names in front of me that you like. And I just want veto power. Which for some reason she totally agreed to. Or she just accepted, one of the two. like the only one that like I really had to like. Well, so I always use this one example. So Kim's looking at baby names, and this isn't a direct quote. It's just close enough for government work. But she comes to me and she's like, "We should name it Buford." And I know that's not it. It's just the most ridiculous name I could think of when I made up when I was retelling the story. I was like, "We should name it Buford. It means strength." And I just looked at her and I'm like, "No, it means he's going to get his ass beat on the playground. We are not naming our kid Buford." Don't ask me what the name was. I totally forget at this point. But like that was like my main rejection with my first one. My last one, so like my oldest has Kim's brother's middle name for his middle name. My second has my middle name for his middle name. And for my youngest, she wanted to give it her grandma's last name as his middle name. But I had to put the kibosh on that one because it would have been the name of a furniture store. I'm like, we are not naming our child after a furniture store. No, it's after my grandma. No, it's a furniture store. And so I had to put my foot down on that one. But I wanted the same thing. Like I didn't want, or like I wanted this. I wanted similar to what my oldest wants. Just a quote unquote normal name. You know, I didn't want any. Like we're gonna name all of our kids at no little IKEA running around. Yeah, right. Yeah, like nothing like that. I didn't want like cute naming conventions where like all the kids have the same initials, or like we're naming the kids alphabetically, or we're naming the kids out of after people in the Book of Mormon. That happens a lot in the LDS community, especially in Utah. Or Bible names, or I just wanted them to have normal names. And like and part of that is like that's what my parents did. Like my parents were going to name me after my grandfathers. Book of Mormon is a send up of Mormons. I don't know what you mean by it's a send up. But my parents were going to name me after my grandfathers, but being that I was born in 1976, they thought it might be a little strange to name me Benjamin Franklin. Yes, Mage, the actual Book of Mormon. I've not seen the Trey Parker and Matt Stone musical, nor will I. I don't care how good it is. But yeah, I was talking the actual book. Anyways, so yeah, that was my approach to naming kids. Yeah, I just don't need to support stuff like that, you know. I'm also not seeing that movie. Shag from chat has been literally trying to get me to watch that for over 20 years. I'm still not going to watch it. I mean, every organization has things that you can criticize it for, but I mean, it's kind of important to me, so I don't really feel the need to watch others make fun of it. Regardless of how funny or, you know, how much people try to say, oh, no, they actually respect it a whole lot. I mean, I doubt it. I'm not saying they can't make it. I am I'd say like a 95% free speech absolutist. I don't know where my line is on that regard. But even when I tell myself, oh, they shouldn't be saying that, I usually find myself yelling at myself, saying, that's not what free speech means. So anyhow, no, I trust me, Mage. I know what it's about. Like I said, Shag has been trying to get me to watch it for literally more than 2 decades. I just don't feel the need to support it. Some people enjoy it, and that's fine. But I'm gonna pass.
Okay, I gotta say, this angled paintbrush is way more useful than I initially thought it would be.
I will admit, I do want to see Team America. Mostly because of the Kim Jong-un, or no, Kim Jong-il references. That just seems very funny to me. Yeah, right. And I've seen a lot of those memes like forever. I've just never gotten around to watching that movie. Yeah, dude, Mundo, that's a great point. You know, you are also much kinder than I, but I do try to do that. However badly however badly I do try. So there is that. Yeah, I'm just bad at, quote unquote, correcting people when they're poking fun at my beliefs. It's part of my non-confrontational nature. But I also kind of figure I'd rather just be a good person and let people know that those kinds of things are important to me, and usually they just kind of back off on their own. And let's be honest, occasionally there is some stuff that it's, totally worth making fun of us for.
You or
Mormons in general.
I'm just gonna pick on you because we fun.
That's, I mean, me too, but that wasn't technically the topic of discussion. So, I like how this is coming along. Let's see here.
I feel like we're trying to catch up for a summer's worth of not having rain.
I know.
Sweet.
I like it.
Oh, that's sweet.
No, that's the wrong paintbrush.
My son has been using my paintbrushes, and I'm not sure I'm happy about it.
Like, I want him painting his models. He's doing it. He's doing it well, but I am already not very gentle with my paintbrushes, and he is very much less so.
So I would like to be encouraging, but that does mean I'm going to have to buy replacement brushes soon-ish. Much sooner than if it was just me using them. Let's put it that way.
So, anyhow.
This guy's been coming along pretty nicely. So anyways, for those of you that are still here in chat, what are the gaming plans for the weekend? Me personally, I want to do something Saturday night because I was supposed to do an overtime shift, but one of the other guys got hit with some fees that he wasn't expecting, so he asked if he could take the Saturday night shift. So I'm thinking I need to play something. If not, maybe I'll do a live stream. Who knows? Sunday, oh my gosh, I really need to get back to the statue. I was supposed to do it this past Sunday, but again, working overtime.
So, ooh. An indefinite hiatus. Dude, indefinite hiatuses suck. Is it just because everybody's not sure if they want to continue playing, or... Ooh, Clericon. Nice. Oh, dude, that's awesome. Like, I wish I was going, but kind of glad I'm not.
I just... I don't know. It's weird. But I do wish I was going to meet you guys. Ah! That's really awesome. I'm glad that he's going. That's super cool. +60 sessions? That's awesome. I mean, that's over a year. None of the games that I've ever been in have lasted anywhere close to that long. Any of them. I mean, people are playing, just not with me.
I played My Little Pony with you.
I know you will, dear, and we'll. We will. Got okay. So it was just the last particular run went 60+ sessions. Regardless, that's still good, dude. That's a fantastic run. I am super jealous of that. I just realized that the camera's really not in focus. Sean, you don't have to rub it in. That's true. Kim says you're just making up for me talking about England all those times. Kim would like to remind the chat that we went to England last year. We very much enjoyed ourselves. We would really like to go back. Technically, next on the bucket list is Australia. I want to go to Brazil. But I have a very specific time frame when I want to do that. The problem is, like, essentially it depends on eventually. Actually, technically the next trip is the next the next trip is Alabama and Tennessee. So I am going to go meet Cody and Max. Which, I need to message them.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I'm going to message them. Oh, Max is probably going to be on his... I'm going to do it this weekend. Today is not the best to message Max because he's got a show to prepare. What, Kim?
We'll just have to verify plans while he's on the street tonight.
No, we're not going to interrupt his stream tonight because he's going to have Kevin Simbita on. So, I know you are, dear, and I appreciate it. So yeah, technically, the next trip is Alabama, Tennessee, see my sister, Max, Cody. Maybe see another friend of mine. I don't know. We'll have to... Problem is, he's in Louisville, which is significantly farther away from where we're staying. Yeah, because I'd be the one to drive Little Miss Passenger Princess. I love Kim. She's great. Yeah, the only problem with going to the biggest problem with going to Claricon is the fact that it's so close to our anniversary. And I think Kim would murder me if I even suggested it. All right, so there's everything roughed in. Obviously, I've got to do the cockpit lens, which is right there. The lasers. But I'm going to wash it, which is essentially going to shut it down for about 24 hours while the wash dries. All the more reason for a Niagara Falls visit. Like, seriously, how is Niagara Falls the honeymoon destination? I mean, it's not anymore, but like when I was growing up, like that just like in the 50s, that just seemed like the trope. You know, in like movies and whatnot, where people are getting married and it's like, let's go to Niagara Falls for our honeymoon. How is, I don't know. Seems like there would be many other much more exciting places to go on a honeymoon. I get that it's a wonder of the world, but that's like something you take your kids to. Not your new bride. I mean, maybe it's because it's like a quote-unquote exotic location not too far from New York City. That's honestly the only thing that I can guess as to why that would have happened, or why it would have becomes a because it's like, okay, you get married and it's a couple-hour drive, or 4-hour drive or whatever, to Niagara from New York City. So yeah, or train ride, whatever. I mean, my point is, I'm guessing that it's a movie thing, and it's the fact that it's close to New York City. All right, that ended up being a little darker than I wanted. At least on the white section. I want it more just like dirty as opposed to heavier black tones. There, that's better. Man. I don't know why, but wash just worked great on this one. Like, it's always helpful, but this just seemed to have all the right grooves just to pick it up just right. Okay. Well, I think we're going to call that mostly done. It's wet, so I'm going to have to leave it. We've also been going for about an hour and a half. That looks good. Oh, I'm going to be happy to have that one done. I mean, it's another it's another Lyran Guard, which now this makes like 3. I almost have a whole lance of Lyran Guard. But, man, it's a named pilot, so that's his unit, that's his paint scheme. I'm okay with it. But, all right. So, what do I have coming up? I've got, got to get some video. Well, you know what? Just subscribe. Make sure you're paying attention. More videos will come out. It'll be great. We'll have fun with it. But we'll have, I've got a miniatures review coming up on Monday for Battletech. I'll probably have that other Spiky Bits box to take a look at. And we'll start experimenting. We'll do some other stuff. So, yeah. Come hang out. Watch videos. I'll get caught up with... Don't unsub then resub, Mage. It's fine. That's just for anyone who might be watching later. So yeah. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and go to sleep after I finish what's left of my monster. Gotta love ADHD. But yeah, everybody have a great weekend. Thank you for hanging out.
I really, as always, do appreciate it. And so